everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Linda and I'm an ordinary fancy goldfish hobbyist. By ordinary, I mean that I don't breed goldfish, I don't own a whole bunch of aquariums, and I'm not trying to win a contest for the best looking fish. I'm trying to keep my life simple and enjoy having just one aquarium with cute and healthy fancy goldfish. This is my first video and I've decided to talk about food. Feeding your goldfish is probably one of the most fun activities that you'll do as a hobbyist. So I thought it would be a good place to start. So I'm going to begin by talking about pellet food. And the winner in my book so far is the one made by NorthFin. They have 2mm and 3mm versions. My fish are about 3 to 4 inches long, and I've been feeding them the 2mm pellet size. That's working out just fine. By the way, this video is not sponsored. I just happen to like the NorthFin brand, and I've decided to share my thoughts on it. Other pellet food I've tried has been the Kenta gas release, New Life Spectrum, Ultra Fresh, Ultra Color, Saki Hikari, the purple bag, and Mizuho. My goldfish were continuing to develop swim bladder issues on these other foods. Now, whether it was actually the food or just the unfortunate situation of the fancy goldfish anatomy, I can't say, but I do believe my fish have done better on the NorthFin food. I decided to try out NorthFin after checking out their website and after reading some of the good reviews on Amazon and other message boards. NorthFin's pretty transparent on their website about their ingredients, where they're sourced, how they're preserved, and how their food is manufactured. New Life Spectrum is the only other company I've seen be transparent like this. Ultra Fresh is also somewhat transparent. NorthFin's foods are supposedly formulated to be easily digested, and they're also free of fillers, byproducts, artificial pigments, and artificial preservatives. I did read on their website that they preserve the herring and sardine meals specifically in something called Naturox. From what I can tell, Naturox is the brand name of a product that's actually made up of natural antioxidants. Apparently, preserving fish meal with Naturox is known to be the safer alternative to the cheaper and more commonly used Ethoxyquin, which is a chemical preservative that's known to cause cancer. Definitely not something we want in our fish food. I hope I didn't totally butcher the pronunciation of those words. Anyway, it doesn't seem like Naturox is a bad thing. New Life Spectrum is another brand that also uses Naturox for preservation. The main ingredient in the NorthFin Goldfish Formula is organic kelp, but it also contains human-grade spirulina, whole Antarctic krill meal, herring meal, whole sardine meal, and a bunch of other things. I was happy to see that wheat flour is the 5th ingredient listed, which means it's not just used as a filler like it is in a lot of other foods. The NorthFin website explains that kelp improves a fish's activity level, that herring promotes healthy growth and development, that spirulina improves their immune system, that calcium montmorillonite clay removes toxins from their intestines, and that the krill, the herring, and the spirulina all help with enhancing a fish's color. So it really does seem like a very complete food. I also like that their food's manufactured using low heat steam, which supposedly helps preserve more of those nutrients and vitamins that are in the ingredients. The protein content of the food is 36%. Some of you might think that's too low, and it is on the lower side compared to other brands, but I'm happy with this because my understanding is that older goldfish don't need as much protein as young fish. And since I don't have any young fish at the moment, I was pretty happy to be able to find a food with less protein. But anyway, enough about ingredients and composition. If you're interested in learning more, you can always check out the NorthFin website. They go into great detail about the ingredients, and I've linked to it in the description box below. I use the NorthFin pellet food as my goldfish's main staple food, which means I feed it to them at least once a day. This does make me comfortable enough to also use it in their auto feeder when I go on vacation. This is a huge plus in my book, and the main reason I even looked for a pellet food to begin with. I like that the pellets start to sink right away. Therefore, the fish don't develop a bad habit of eating at the surface of the water where they might gulp in some air and potentially cause themselves to have buoyancy issues. I've tried other foods that claim to be sinking, but that still float long enough for the fish to develop that bad habit of trying to eat at the surface. NorthFin says their pellets are slow sinking. Some of the negative reviews I've read about the food complain that this claim is false. I haven't tested all the slow sinking pellet foods that exist out there on the market, so I can't tell you if the claim is really false because I have nothing to compare the NorthFin food against. Maybe slow sinking just means that it doesn't sink as fast as the rock. If that's the case, then yes, their claim is accurate. But I personally don't think it matters. Goldfish will eat food at the top, at the bottom, and everywhere in between. As long as it's not floating at the top, I think that's all that matters. And NorthFin did get that right. However you want to describe the speed at which it sinks, it's still slow enough for my goldfish to see the food and even try to grab at the pellets before they reach the bottom of the tank. The one thing I don't like about this food is the packaging. The food is premium, the packaging is not. The Ziploc portion of the bag actually came apart on me, making it impossible to seal it back up. It's too bad the Ziploc functionality isn't similar to that of Mizuho. I really like theirs. To avoid having to deal with the malfunction of the Ziploc, I recommend dumping the food into a separate container. That's what I do, and I've been using this one made by Kozo. It's an airtight glass jar. It's black, which supposedly prevents UV rays from degrading the food. Their 1 ounce jar is the perfect size to fit an entire 250 gram bag of the NorthFin food. I like to scoop out the food using this very small 1/64th teaspoon measure. And yes, you did hear that right, 1/64th teaspoon, which is also 0.08 milliliters. I do feed 1 spoonful of this to each one of my fish. Again, my fish are around 3 to 4 inches long, and at this size, they're able to finish eating the food within a few minutes. I provided the Amazon links to the food, the jar, and the measuring spoon in the description box if you're interested in checking them out. Before I go, I wanted to let you know that I don't soak this pellet food before feeding it to my fish. I've read multiple articles now that say that pre-soaking pellet food isn't necessary and even a bad idea. As soon as the food touches water, it starts to lose its nutrients. So imagine if you let that food pre-soak for 3 minutes and then you throw it into the tank, and then let's say it takes your fish another 2 minutes to actually eat all of it. That's 5 minutes that their food is just leaching nutrients into the water. So really not ideal, because the nutrients are going into the water where they can't be absorbed by your fish, instead of actually into your fish where they can be absorbed within their intestines. My fish veterinarian, Dr. Jessie has actually written an article about this, and I've linked to it in the description box. She actually has a lot of helpful information on her website about all sorts of topics, and even has a YouTube channel of her own. Well, that's it for now. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to see what I post next, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons down below, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching my first video. Bye!